So you said before that the practice of magic was given to humanity by the stellar realms or the angelic realms. Were humans literally like taught this, or was it more like they received intuitive guidance and downloads and developed it on our own, but with guidance, with inspiration?
In some situations, yes, systems have been developed that way where it's been more intuitive. And also, yes, to your earlier point, which is that these systems have also been shared word for word, step by step by different beings. So it's happened in both ways.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Look into the groups known as the secret chiefs if you want to understand more about that.
I was actually just going to ask you that I know that the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, they talked about, they received instruction from the secret chiefs, and I'm wondering, who are these secret chiefs?
These are what you would consider to be celestial beings that are not bound by the idea of space and time. Rather, they exist outside of it completely. And they can dip in and out of physicality when they wish. So they can materialize when they wish and dematerialize when they wish. They're sort of like what many people think of as extraterrestrial in nature, but that would be a limitation on them to call them extraterrestrial. They are more so extra dimensional in nature. Sometimes they express as people, but not always. And oftentimes they will visit members of your society as materialized humans. And when they are finished with the meeting, they may drop that materialized form in exchange for their actual form. So they can come and go as they please. The systems that they share are translations of the systems they themselves use. The systems that they use are much more sophisticated and are much more advanced, and they pertain to the operations and the workings of higher realms, realms that are above Earth in their frequencies. So the systems that they share with all of you are what you would consider to be technologies and systems that are relevant specifically for Earth. It's like an Earth-based translation of the systems they themselves have developed on higher planes.
They wouldn't be ascended masters. This is something different.
You're on the money with that. Yes. Yes. They're essentially ascended masters. Not every ascended master has been called a secret chief, but most secret chiefs, yes, are ascended masters. These are beings who have essentially immortalized themselves and have climbed the ladder of consciousness, and they have become a part of what you would call the energetic hierarchy or spiritual hierarchy that organizes the unfoldings of what takes place on higher realms. Some of them are from Earth, some of them are not. Some of them are more terrestrial in their origin, others are not.
So these beings are sharing techniques of magic to help humanity evolve in consciousness.
Specifically, yes. Because if they do not share those techniques, then these ways are forgotten and your species becomes more materialistic, which causes a deepening of your species' amnesia. So they share these techniques, not just to help people create the lives they wish, but to also ensure your species does not become completely ignorant to the energetic world, which would ultimately lead to your species' demise. So there's an element of survival here. There's an element of uplifting the consciousness of your people. And there is also an element of preserving ancient ways, ancient systems, ancient technologies, so they're not lost. So there's many different reasonings behind why they share what they share.
Another term I've heard in my readings on magic is the Great White Brotherhood. And would this be a more earth-based organization of adepts and magicians and things?
This is more celestial in nature.
Celestial.
Yes, yes. There's a stronger connection here to what you would consider to be, in particular, the star realm. Yes. So pay attention in particular to fixed stars. the energies and the magical powers of the fixed stars. These beings are linked to that.
You've mentioned, the angelic realms, the stellar realms, the spiritual realms. I'm just trying to get a map of what are the different realms that you speak of.
All right. Well, keep in mind, every realm has angelics. So the angelic realm permeates all of existence. This may sound strange, but everything is made up of angels. What you call angels are the perhaps deified versions of different frequencies of energy that make up existence itself. In that way, you've never left heaven. The kingdom of heaven is around you. Everything you experience is literally made up of angelic energy. And when you call an angel in, you're activating that divine power that is inherent in all things. So, this is why you have the idea of archangels ruling over physical elements like fire, like air, like water, like earth. If the angelic realm were truly up here, you wouldn't have archangels that oversee physical elements. This implies the angelic realm is on every level. This is why there are also archangels of the planets. This is why there are archangels of stars. This is also why there are archangels of what you would call the etheric realm, the realm of the source that is connected to this particular universe. It's not the source of all sources, but it is this universe's source. There are archangels connected to this. So the angelic realm permeates everything. So there are, in general, what you might consider to be 4 major levels, and they entangle with one another. But there is the idea of the spirit level. This is that source level we mentioned and beyond. Below this, there is the idea of the mental level. The mental level primarily corresponds with the star realm and primarily corresponds with the spheres of the tree of life. Beneath this, there is the idea of the astral realm. This most greatly corresponds with your planets, and in particular, corresponds with your moon. Then there's the idea of the etheric realm. This realm also greatly corresponds with your moon. It also corresponds with your sun, and it also corresponds with your earth. The etheric realm represents a sort of halfway point between the astral and the physical. The etheric realm is where the astral and the physical meet one another. The reason the sun and the moon are deeply associated with the etheric realm is because the sun and the moon direct etheric energy towards your planet. They take these astral frequencies, they break them down, and they broadcast them to Earth as etheric energy. And then, of course, there is what you call your physical realm, your material realm, your realm of form. So in that way, you could say there are 5 major levels, approximately. There's different ways of divvying that up depending on who you're talking to. But angelic beings are entangled with each of the 5 levels.
Thank you. That makes a lot more sense now. Essentially, what you're saying is angelic beings, angelic consciousness. It's their source, and then the first step down from source is all of this angelic consciousness, which is like you say, it's everything.
Yes. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Yes. But the idea is that the source energies will broadcast these frequencies across the different densities of existence. So in that way, the hierarchy of angels and the lineage of angels follows the lineage and hierarchy of creation. So as creation creates, it's utilizing what you call those angelic frequencies to create. So it will first create using angelic frequencies on the spirit level. Then it will do so on the mental level, followed by the astral, followed by the etheric, until finally it's the physical level. So Source is utilizing angelic energies across the board. As these lower levels are, let's just say, engendered, they become denser and denser and denser. They become less pure in relationship to their ability to reflect the source origin from whence they came. So the further you get from source in terms of density, the less obvious it is you came from source, which is why it's easier to forget your true nature the more material you become. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
So in that way, are we human beings essentially fallen angels, that we fell into density and we forgot
Yes.
who we are?
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Yes.
Yes. There's other takes on what a fallen angel is, but in general, yes, that is one way of looking at it that is incredibly valid.
And then when we do magical rituals and we evoke the angels, I've heard it spoken of as we are invoking them into our aura. Is that how it kind of mechanically works?
Yes, if that's how you wish to invoke them. So if you're invoking an angel around you, then yes, you're invoking it in your aura. You can also invoke an angel in you. However, that is more advanced. Your system needs to be more purified and more capable of handling that energy when it's deeply internalized. But in general, the aura is used because it's still your body. It's just the most superficial part of your body. So you're still taking it in, but you're taking it in on a level that's mostly energetic. So it's easier to assimilate with that energy. If you direct the angel's energy inside of you and you direct it within you, that is a whole other level. And the environment is denser, so there's a greater opportunity for energies to get stuck. So the aura is commonly used to avoid that.
When I think about doing ceremonial magic, I guess I like to understand how things mechanically work. So like if you're doing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, you're kind of clearing the space and banishing negative energies. Then you're calling in those angelic energies. Is that essentially what that?
Yes. You're using
does?
banishing pentagrams to purify and to remove undesired energy from the space. You invoke the angelic frequencies to, in a sense, oversee the power of the banishing pentagrams so they remain in effect. So the angelic beings are overseeing your banishing operation to ensure that the space remains purified.
As it pertains to high magic, perhaps the ultimate goal of that is where your whole life becomes a ritual and every act becomes a magical act. And
you can take it that far, yes. And that is what is encouraged. Because once you reach that point, your life becomes an entire movement of conscious synchrony. Because the idea is each ritual is an intentional action that is directed by the source that you are. That's where the authority to do magic comes from. By recognizing yourself as source, you are granted the power to create as source. So when your entire life becomes a ritual that is empowered by source itself, you will automatically operate in total harmony and in total synchrony with the flow of source as it manifests in the material world. Until energetically, there's no difference between you and source in terms of how you both impact and operate in the physical world.